Our people have forgotten. They have been made to forget.
Oh boy. Oh, good golly gosh.
Gee willikers.
Gee whiz. I don't know. God damn it.
All right, everyone. It's 1930. The Great Depression has begun, and it's black and white. Just imagine the world as America in chaos and...
Not too different from how it is now is it?
But in black and white instead.
Yeah, and with better music and better cars or something. I don't know. We're here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Public Remains, where we continuously cover things that are very old, but we can cover things that are really old that just entered the public domain this year.
Oh, shit.
And that's right. So I'm here. You might remember me as show editor David, and I am here with my consistent UCA and Anna Musings co-host, Kaela.
Hello.
And there's no one I'd rather be here with than to talk about something that's near and dear to both of us. That famous teenage sleuth, Nancy Drew, who is at last liberated from copyright, or at least this incarnation of her is, because the first 4 Nancy Drew books are in the public domain as of 2026. That's right. Holy shit. We can finally talk about Nancy fucking Drew.
Oh, no. As soon as I heard that Nancy Drew was going to be in public domain, I came to David and I'm like, if you're actually doing this, I want to discuss this with you. I want to read this with you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're the short version. We already did a kind of a long treatise of this on Pulpy Discharge. And you can listen to that on Patreon, patreon.com/creative horror.
Yes.
But we are both fans of the Nancy Drew interactive point and click adventure games.
Yeah. It was something I played as a kid. You can hear about my childhood and how I came to love those games, but I unironically love those games. In terms of the books, I've only read one book, and that was when I was 14. I don't remember enjoying it that much, but I was also 14.
Yeah.
So...
You're a little outside the demographic, I think, for some of those.
Yeah, I just decided to give it a shot because I can't remember why at 14. I think I just came across it and I was like, oh, you know what? I should probably read this since it's like a classic. So why not?
I mean, I'm interested. I've never read a Nancy Drew book ever. I haven't read a Hardy Boys book either.
I've never read a Hardy Boys book either. I have seen a Hardy Boys play years ago.
A play?
Yeah. I must have been in elementary school at this point. Basically, our school went to see it. I barely remember it, but I do remember seeing one.
Oh my gosh.
Other things I probably should give it a chance is there's the old Nancy Drew TV show from the 1950s and all that. So there was a terrible CW Nancy Drew show not that long ago. So I heard sexy gritty reboot Nancy Drew. So the funny part is the only thing I really know about that show. Both David and I love Lemon Demon.
Oh God, yeah, this bit. Okay.
So I looked this up. I had to find this, and then I'm like, David, you're not going to believe this. So there is a point in the new gritty reboot of Nancy Drew where 2 of the characters, I think it's George and Ned, don't quote me, where they've been dating and she's getting upset with him, but then hears, of all things, Cabinet Man by Lemon Demon. And they go in and the song's playing, and as the song is playing, he's proposing to her because this is apparently her favorite artist of all time. And
I mean, good choice. If
but
George
also
has good taste in music. I was saying,
but also out of all the Lemon Demon songs, Cabinet Man. But it's also kind of wild. I did not expect to hear this in gritty reboot of Nancy Drew, but here we are.
Someone's a Neil Cicerega fan.
Someone on that writer's room was a total Neil Cicerega fan and was like, we need this on your... Because I love the fact, too, that they show Spirit Phone as a goddamn, like, album.
Like a vinyl?
Like a vinyl.
In this universe.
Spirit Phone is on vinyl.
That's so good.
And also, I'm now jealous of these characters. Where can I get Spirit Phone on vinyl?
Seriously.
Anyway.
Yeah. But we're not, I will say, Nancy Drew has been around since 1930. Was originally another creation of the guy who made, or at least pitched as a concept by the guy who made the Hardy Boys, right?
So one thing I did do, I read a book about the origin of Nancy Drew.
Really?
Yep. We have what's called Stratemeyer syndication. And we have Edward Stratemeyer, who he did the Hardy Boys and was like, you know what? Let's make a detective for girls. And then on April 28th, 1930, Nancy Drew comes out. And it's written by Carolyn Keene. Now, with the Stratemeyer Syndicate, for both Hardy Boys and a lot of the books that they produced, all of the authors were pen names. And it's usually multiple authors.
So consistently ghostwritten, but always with the pseudonym Carolyn Keene.
Yes. And the first writer who wrote as Carolyn Keene was Mildred Wirt. So she was the original author for the Nancy Drew series.
Okay.
They brought on actually mostly women to write for the Nancy Drew series. So I'll give them props for that, to be the Carolyn Keene.
So what we're tackling is that first Nancy Drew book. We figured starting at the beginning, if all four of those books are out, we got to start in chronological order. So we're about to embark on a journey that will hit every so often with you, dear listeners, where we're going to read Nancy Drew, The Secret of the Old Clock.
Which is, again, the first book that came out on April 28th, 1930.
Right. So, but before we do that, unfortunately, and I'm not sure how up you are on this, Kaela, but we have a sponsor, and we gotta go do some old business.
Sounds good.
Cough, you chump! It's all your own fault. Now millions prevent colds by twice-a-day Listerine gargle. 66% reduction showed in tests.
For Listerine, Jesus.
Isn't this great? Like, insult your, like, basically go and laugh at your person for not getting... So let's see, how cruel do you think this ad is going to get?
I hold on. Now people are beginning to realize that if they have a cold, they have only themselves to blame. Did you wake up sick? Now knock it the fuck off. They are learning that ordinary colds can frequently be prevented. Their number often reduced 50% and sometimes 66%. Where the fuck did we get those numbers? Who knows? One cold a year instead of 3.
I mean, that's kind of what we're used to now, right? I think I've had 2 colds within close proximity.
I will say
recently.
I haven't had a cold in a long time. Not since the pandemic.
and you never
started.
got.
Yeah, not since the pandemic started. I haven't had a cold in a while. But then again, I think it's because I work from home mostly, and then also for the start of the pandemic, you were working with kids.
Yeah.
So you would get sick, and then I would catch what you got.
Well, maybe it's also because I started using Listerine gargle.
Oh, that's what happened.
That might be part of it, honestly.
Right. Twice a day gargle does it. Wise eating, moderate exercise, ample rest are half the battle. Who the heck is doing moderate exercise while in warding off colds? The other half of the systematic twice a day gargle with Listerine, the safe antiseptic. For Listerine, by scientific tests, is revealed as a splendid aid in preventing colds and reducing their severity and duration. Never has its swift germ-killing power and safe healing action been so clearly disclosed. Below is a brief outline of one of the many tests and its results.
Now, it is important to remember that the guy in bed was clearly like someone who just decided not to take the cast, and now everybody's just laughing at him. Remember, laugh at his expense. Laugh.
There is a picture of a guy looking like he's just sneezed and in bed, and while this guy is smiling at him.
I just, the attitude at the beginning. So 1/2 as many colds. 204 persons in normal health were under medical observation for a period of 1 month to 4.5 months. 1/3 of them did not gargle with Listerine. 1/3 gargled twice a day. 1/3 gargled 5 times a day. Now, note these results. Those who gargled with Listerine twice a day had from 50% to 66% fewer colds than those who did not gargle with Listerine.
How does fewer, like a year or, okay.
Well, over the period from 1 month to 4.5 months, I mean...
Colds 3/4 as severe. When Listerine users did
They're only 3/4 as severe.
When Listerine users did contract colds, they were 1/4 as... Oh, is that a 3 or 1?
It's a 1. It's the text is kind of small. That's why it made me laugh, because I'm like, I think it's supposed to be 1/4, but I can see it. They're only a smidgen less severe.
1/4 as severe and lasted only 1/3 as long as the colds contracted by those who did not use Listerine. Those who gargled 5 times a day showed even greater resistance to the infection.
But will it ward off cholera? I'm not sure. Safety is answer. Only a mouthwash combining the factors of swift germicidal effect and safe healing action could accomplish such results. Physicians tell us that mouthwash is so harsh that must be diluted before they dare be used may and often do cause an irritation through which germs usually enter the body. Lambert Pharmaceutical Co., St. Louis, Missouri. Please mention newsstand group when answering advertisements. Okay, so not as funny as I thought it was going to be, but honestly, the headline is what kills me. It's just them like, yeah, fuck you. You didn't gargle with Listerine, you fucking dick.
Cough,
I hope you die.
Cough, you chump.
Cough, you chump. ... Not even full ellipses, just ... They can't. It's your own fault that I didn't put in the whole ellipses. I can't be bothered to give that with you, you cretin. Seriously.
Now sponsored by Listerine. No.
It was kind of weird jumping in to realize, oh wait, Listerine's still a thing.
Yeah.
But could you imagine if they kept advertising stuff like this though? Every time someone coughed, they're just like, ha ha!
Sucks for you!
Business aside, I think this is the moment we've been waiting for. It's April 28th, 1930, and we just got this cool blue book in front of us. Oh shit, is that a woman as the detective?
Holding a clock?
Oh my god, it's a clockwork mystery. Is she a clock? Am I a clock? Are you a clock? Are we clocking this correctly? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, so let's go to the first chapter. We're going to start with The Lost Will, Chapter 1. It would be a shame if all that money went to the Tophams. They will fly higher than ever.
Nancy Drew, a pretty girl of 16, leaned over the library table and addressed her father, who sat reading a newspaper by the study lamp.
I beg your pardon, Nancy. What were you saying about the Tophams? Carson Drew, a noted criminal and mystery case lawyer, known far and wide for his work as a former district attorney, looked up from his evening paper and smiled indulgently upon his only daughter. Now, as he gave her his respectful attention, he was not particularly concerned with the Richard Topham family, but rather with the rich glow of the lamp upon Nancy's curly golden bob. Ooh, so hypnotic.
My daughter's hair is just so gorgeous.
She gets it from me, clearly. Not at all the sort of head which one expected to indulge in serious thoughts, he told himself.
That's kind of a weird thing to focus on, Carson.
Yeah, also, Carson, shouldn't you be like, more like, are you saying your daughter's an airhead? Like, I wouldn't expect someone who looks like that to be thinking critically about stuff.
Ugh.
Well, that's not characterizing Carson very well.
No.
Yeah. Mischievously, Nancy reached over and tweaked his ear. That's what he gets.
Yeah.
You weren't paying a bit of attention, she accused him sternly. I was saying, I think it's mean if those snobbish Tophams fall heir to all of Josiah Crowley's fortune. Can't something be done about it? I'll tag.
Okay. Removing his horn-rimmed spectacles and carefully folding the paper, Carson Drew regarded his daughter meditatively. I'm afraid not, Nancy. A will is a will, you know.
And where there's a will, there's a way.
But it does seem unfair that all the money should go to them, especially when they never treated Josiah Crowley like a human being. Josiah Crowley is a boss name.
It is a pretty good name. I mean, we're already getting some names, some choice names in here.
Topham sounds like a very snobby name. Josiah Crowley,
Well, the first thing that came to my head was the name of the fat controller from Thomas the Tank Engine. His name was Sir Topham Hatt. So,
oh my God.
Yep.
The Tophams were never noted for their charitable dispositions, Carson Drew observed with a smile. However, they did give Josiah a home. Yes, and everyone knows why. They wanted to work him into leaving all his money to them. And it seems that their scheme worked, too. They treated him like a prince until he made his will in their favor, and then they acted as though he were dirt under their feet. Folks said he died just to be rid of their everlasting nagging. Jesus.
It's kind of like how Bilbo disappeared at his birthday party because he hated all his neighbors.
That's basically... I still read that and I couldn't believe it literally is him giving the middle finger and saying, well, bye!
I'm out. Peace.
It literally says, also, all my in-laws, you suck.
Yeah.
Bye.
Especially the Sackville Bagginses.
Sackville Bagginses, fuck you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.
This is what happened with Josiah.
Yeah, that was Josiah Crowley died just to spite them.
You know what, Tophams? You want your money? Here you go. Bye.
I'm not taking it with me.
And die in your sleep.
he took the gambler's advice.
Yes, you gotta know when to hold them.
You got no one to hold him, no one to fold him, no one to stop listening to their nagging and die in your sleep.
Yes.
But only after they strategically force you to sign everything over to them in your will.
Tag out.
Okay. The Tophams aren't very well liked in our little city, are they? Mr. Drew commented dryly.
Because they're wealthy assholes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Criminal attorney Carson Drew here. Oh, who could like them, father? Richard Topham is an old skinflint who made his money by gambling on the stock exchange. Oh, right. This is 1930. Oh, no wonder they hate this guy. There it is.
There it is.
And Cora, his wife, is nothing but a vapid social climber. The two girls, Isabel and Ada, are even worse. I went to school with them, and I never saw such stuck-up creatures in all my life. If they fall heir to any more money, this town won't be big enough to hold them.
Nancy's a gossipy bitch.
I'm kind of vibing with how she's just chatting away with Carson here. Yeah,
just like, these
Also note she's 16 here.
Yeah, that's true. She is 16. So in future books and any remakes of this book, she's 18. But the first ever book that came out in 1930, she's 16.
Right. We're gathering that right now, which is good. In her estimate of the Topham family, Nancy Drew did not exaggerate. Nearly everyone in River Heights shared the opinion that the Tophams were snobbish and arrogant, and the treatment they accorded old Josiah Crowley had aroused a great deal of unfavorable comment. Nancy had never known Josiah well, but had often seen him on the street and secretly had regarded him as a rather nice but extremely queer sort of individual. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. That's nice. His wife had died oh, never mind.
Well,
his beard
bisexual Josiah Crowley.
I support bisexual Josiah Crowley. His wife had died during the influenza epidemic following the World War, and since that time, Crowley had made his home with various relatives. Although well-to-do, he preferred to visit around, in quotes.
What does that mean?
He visited around.
Oh, queer?
He's visited around. Wife died of influenza. Anyway, no, sorry, that's terrible.
Gay? Yeah. I had to...
We have to make this gay somehow. That's just the way.
This is what happens when we've spent enough time with the Sade. We have to find a way to make it gay.
We do. At first, the Tophams had evidenced no interest in the old man, and he had been forced to live with kindly relatives who were scarcely able to have him with them. Crowley appreciated the sacrifice and openly declared that he intended to make his will in their favor. Then, 3 years before his death, the Topham family experienced a sudden change of heart. They begged Josiah Crowley to make his home with them, and at last he consented. Presently, rumor had it that the Tophams had induced him to make his will in their favor.
Why did they... Okay, what are the Tophams related to Crowley? What the...
He just needed places to go. I don't know what their connection is exactly.
Look, honey, if you're going to sleep with the old man, you gotta at least get money.
They suddenly had a change of heart unexpectedly, and he was like, hey, you want to come stay with us? And he's like, sure, do.
Oh, okay.
He was originally intended to make the other relatives, I don't know, it's just there's some weirdness here. So that's already kind of odd, right?
Yeah.
Then one day, Josiah Crowley took to his bed and did not get up. Just before his death, he attempted to communicate something to the doctor who attended him, but his words were unintelligible. After the funeral, only one will came to light, and to the surprise of everyone, it gave the entire fortune to the Tophams. Now, if he has money, he's not using. He's. I guess that's part of the strangeness of the whole situation, huh?
Now, my question is, how does Nancy know all this? Is it?
She's really up on the town gossip.
It's that.
It's 1930. It's the Great Depression. She doesn't have anything better to do.
It's that small of a town.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and pass to you.
Okay. Father, what do you suppose it was that Mr. Crowley tried to tell the doctor just before he died? Nancy demanded. Father, what the fuck is this? You better tell me now, damn it.
Dad, you know a thing or two about deathbed confessions, right?
What? Holy shit.
Because you're like a criminal defense lawyer.
Oh, yeah. That's after a moment of thought. Do you imagine he was trying to disclose something about his will? Very likely, Nancy. Drew's also a gossipy bitch.
He like father, like daughter.
I guess. Probably he intended to leave his money to more deserving relatives, but fate cheated him of the opportunity. But isn't it possible he did make such a will, and that he was trying to tell what he had done with it? Yes, that's a possibility, of course. Josiah Crowley was rather queer in many ways. God, I love how towards
this is oh my gosh, this is very strange exposition, you got to admit.
Perhaps he hid the will somewhere, Nancy suggested thoughtfully. If he did, I'm afraid it will never come to light. The Tophams will see to that. What do you mean, Father? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? Wait, take a drink. What do you mean? This is the first Nancy Drew what do you mean?
Oh my god.
Ever.
Oh my god. This is the first what do you mean? Okay, so we haven't brought this up, but we have a drinking game whenever we have watched the playthroughs of the Nancy Drew games. And one of them is anytime Nancy Drew says, "What do you mean?"
Fun fact, in the games, Nancy Drew is voiced by the same voice actress who does like a bunch of random characters throughout. Pretty prolific. I'm trying. Lanny Manilli? No, I always want to say Milli Vanilli, but that's not a say. Yeah, so Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli.
Blame It on the Rain.
Lonnie Manila.
See, I assume Milli Vanilli wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Rouge the Bat.
Yes.
And the Night Mother in Skyrim and a bunch of the Dark Elves in Skyrim. And she's done a lot of voices.
Yeah.
What can I say? Anyway, so what do you mean?
The estate is a considerable one, I understand, Nancy. The Tophams don't intend that anyone shall get a cent of it. It's my private opinion that they will take care of that a second a will is never found.
Do you mean that if they discovered the will, they would destroy it? Well, I'm not making any accusations, Nancy, but I do know that Richard Topham is shrewd, and he isn't noted for his honesty. Can't the present will be broken? But that's assuming there's another will. They're really jumping to a lot of conclusions.
Nancy's jumping to, there's got to be another will. There's no way.
Her intuition tells her there's another, because it doesn't make any sense that he would suddenly sign everything over to these people.
No relation, so.
Can the present will be broken? Yeah, no relation. That's the weird part. I doubt it. While I haven't gone into the case, I am of the opinion that the Tophams have a legal right to the fortune. It would cost considerable to contest the will, and so far as I know, the other relatives are in poverty. They have filed a claim declaring that a later will was made in their favor, but I doubt that the matter will go any further. Oh, so they're claiming that this is all a scam. But they don't have the poorer relatives that he was intending to give them.
But they don't have enough money to contest it because it's, Great Depression.
Yeah.
Everyone's in poverty. Well, most everyone's in poverty.
Exactly. But the Tophams don't deserve the fortune, Father. It doesn't seem fair. They rigged the stock market, those fucks. And no, it isn't fair, but it is legal, and I'm afraid nothing can be done about it. There were two girls who lived somewhere on the River Road that were great pets of Crowley's when they were children. Excuse me.
That is a weird way to word that.
Yeah. It seems to me they should have hid something. And there are a number of relatives who really deserve a portion of the fortune. Nancy nodded thoughtfully and relapsed into silence while she digested the facts of the case. From her father, she had acquired a habit of thinking things through to their logical conclusion. Frequently, Carson Drew had assured her that she went at a thing like a detective. Certainly, she had a naturally clever mind and took more than an ordinary interest in strange or baffling cases. Carson Drew, a widower, showered a great deal of affection upon his daughter. It was his secret boast that he had taught her to think for herself and to think logically. Since he knew that Nancy could be trusted with confidential information, he frequently discussed his interesting cases with her.
Damn, Carson! Look at you!
Good guy Carson, being a progressive dad in the 30s.
Basically teaching his daughter to think logically.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
I like this. I'm saying, as awkward as some of the writing is, I already like the candor between them.
Yeah.
That's good. I'll pass to you.
A number of times Nancy had been present at interviews which her father had with noted detectives who desired his aid in solving perplexing mysteries, and those occasions stood out as a red-letter days for her. There was something about a mystery which aroused Nancy's interest.
Yo.
Yep. And she was never content until it was solved. More than once, her father had found her suggestions, or intuitions as he called them, extremely helpful. Hey, you were right.
Mm-hmm.
For a reason which she could not understand, the Crowley case had attracted Nancy's attention, although it had not fallen into her father's hands. She had a certain feeling that a mystery lurked behind it. Father, do you believe Josiah Crowley ever made a second will? Nancy demanded suddenly. Did she just say that?
Well, she said what if there was a second will, but now she's actually asking it like point blank, right? Like that, okay.
You're a regular lawyer the way you cross-examine me, Carson Drew protested, but with an evident enjoyment. Tell you the truth, I don't know whether he ever made a second will or not. All I do know is that, but perhaps I shouldn't mention it since my information is not very definite. Go on, Nancy commanded impatiently. You're trying to tease me. Well, I do remember that one day, nearly 1 year ago, I was standing in the First National Bank when Crowley came in with Henry Rolstead, not the attorney who specializes in wills and legal documents.
Oh, very good point. Well, I certainly remembered it now. Okay.
Yes. Well, as I was saying, they came into the bank together. Yay. Sorry.
That's why they were actually there.
Yeah. I had no intention of listening to their conversation, but I could not help but hear they were discussing a will. Crowley made an appointment to call at Rolstead's office that following day. That looked as though Mr. Crowley had made up his mind to write a new will, doesn't it? That was the thought which passed through my mind at the time. I'll let you take it.
Okay. You say you overheard the conversation nearly a year ago, Nancy mused. That was nearly 2 years after Mr. Crowley had made the will in favor of the Tophams, wasn't it? Yes, it's likely Crowley had made up his mind to change the will. I suspect he intended to cut the Tophams out. Whether or not he did, I have no way of knowing. Mr. Rolstead is an old friend of yours, isn't he? He is, an old friend and an old college classmate. Then why don't you ask him if he ever drew up a will for Mr. Crowley?
This is very dialogue heavy. Like, extremely dialogue
Yeah,
heavy.
it really is. Well, that's a rather delicate question to ask, young lady. He may tell me it's none of my business. You know he won't. You're such a noted attorney that other lawyers feel flattered when you take an interest in their cases. You know, handsome widower Carson Drew and all. Will you do it? Please.
Carson is a hot young dad in this.
He really is.
And he's a lawyer.
And he's got money, clearly.
Ugh.
I can't promise to blunder into his office and demand the information. Why this sudden interest in the case, Nancy? Oh, I don't know. Mystery always interests me, I guess. It does seem to me that someone ought to help those poor relatives. You take after your old dad, I am afraid. But I'm curious to know what mystery you have discovered. If a will is missing, isn't that a mystery? If it is actually missing, yes. But it's possible that if Crowley ever wrote the will, he changed his mind and destroyed it. He was subject to sudden whims, you know. I mean, he does sound like it. Honestly.
Yeah, he was a queer fellow.
He was whims, you know, whims. Anyhow, I'd like to learn more about the case if I can. Will you talk with Mr. Rolstead? You're persistent, Nancy, and Mr. Drew smiled. Well, I suppose I could invite him to take luncheon with me tomorrow. Oh, please do, Nancy interrupted eagerly. That would be a splendid opportunity to find out everything we know about the will.
He knows.
Or everything he knows about the will. All right, I'll try to do it, but I warn you not to expect startling news. Carson Drew glanced at his watch. Why, it's nearly midnight, Nancy. We've been discussing this case for over an hour. I feel like we've been discussing this for over an hour. Better run off to bed now and forget the Tophams. All right, Nancy agreed somewhat reluctantly. Don't forget your promise tomorrow at luncheon. Long after his daughter had retired, Carson Drew sat by the fire. At last, he, too, arose. It wouldn't surprise me if Nancy has stumbled upon a real mystery, he told himself, as he snapped out the electric light and turned toward the stairway. Perhaps I shouldn't encourage her to dig into it, but after all, it's in a good cause. All right, that's chapter 1. A lot of dialogue. A lot of dialogue. All right, what do we think so far?
This is not as bad as I thought it would be, actually. I thought it was going to be a lot more cheesier.
Yeah, I thought so too. It's compelling enough. I'm interested to keep going if you are.
Yeah. Chapter 2, A Chance Meeting. Don't forget your luncheon engagement with Mr. Rolstead, Nancy reminded her father the next morning at the breakfast table. I'll telephone him the first thing after I reach my office, Carson Drew promised. But again, I warn you not to anticipate startling news. I won't, Father, Nancy laughed. It's not like I... Trust me, she's already had her fill with the, hearing Great Depression news a year ago, so...
I mean, any news... Listen, Nancy is just trying to defend the proletariat, and she's been reading her Communist Manifesto recently.
Hell yeah!
It's 1930. She wants to stick it to some rich people. I'm so in her court.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? Fuck these guys. They are rich assholes. They don't deserve this money. There has to be a second will. Fuck them.
It is intuition. It's also called knowing how the rich work.
Yep. But if I should happen to learn something which has a bearing on the missing will, I won't be exactly disappointed. What are your plans for the day, Nancy? Oh, nothing special. I thought I would do a little shopping this morning. Girl shit. And I'm invited to a party one of the girls is giving in the afternoon.
More girl shit.
More girl shit. Then you are too busy to take luncheon with me? Oh, Father, I've been just dying for an invitation, Nancy declared, her eyes dancing. I'm so anxious to learn something about that will. All right, if you have time, drop in at my office about 12:30. Mr. Rolston may not accept my invitation, but if he does, we'll try to find something about Josiah Crowley. Of course, I don't need to warn you not to appear too eager for information. I'll let you do all the talking, Nancy told him. I'll just keep my ears open. I'll let you take over.
All right. I'll look for you at 12:30 then. Mr. Drew pushed back his chair and glanced at his watch. I must hurry now, I'll be late getting downtown. After her father had left, Nancy Drew finished her breakfast and then went to the kitchen to consult with Hannah, the maid, concerning the work of the day. Although only 16, Nancy was usually capable, and under her skillful direction, everything ran smoothly in the Drew household. On the death of her mother 6 years before, she had taken over the entire management of the establishment. The Drews employed one servant, Hannah Gruen, an elderly maid of all work who had been with them for many years.
Okay, so that actually... Okay, because in the game, she was 10 when her mother died.
So they kept that consistent, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought there's been other books where, her mom died, a couple years ago, or they say her mom died when she was, 2 or 3, if I recall.
No, this is actually pretty consistent.
Yeah.
The responsibility of the household might have weighed heavily upon Nancy, but she was the type of girl who is capable of accomplishing a great many things in a comparatively short length of time. She enjoyed sports of all kinds, and she found time for clubs and parties. Man, Nancy's social butterfly here.
Nancy can do anything.
She's great.
Bitch.
In school, Nancy had been very popular, and she boasted many friends. People declared that she had a way of taking life very seriously without impressing one as being the least bit serious herself.
Nancy was perfect. Wait, she's 16, and shouldn't she still be in school, or is that...
Maybe she graduated early? That's one of the character traits here? While in school, Nancy had made one particular chum, Helen Corning, of whom we shall hear more later. Well, we're not going to tell you about Helen now.
The author really wants to let you know that we'll talk about her later.
Yeah. She also had made 2 enemies, the Topham sisters. Oh, it's personal.
Oh, fuck these 2 bitches.
Mm-hmm. Once she had caught Ada in wrongdoing in class, and both sisters had placed the blame on Nancy.
What was the wrongdoing?
I don't know yet. Well, hopefully they'll explain. But Helen and 2 others had come to Nancy's rescue. Since that time, Ada and Isabel had been more hateful to Nancy than ever. Okay. It's not Deirdre Shannon, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'll not be back for luncheon today, Nancy told Hannah as she prepared to leave the house. I have made out the dinner menu and ordered the groceries, so I guess you won't need me for a few hours. And that's it. That's the scene she had with Hannah.
Yep.
Leaving the house, she went to the garage where she kept her automobile. It was a shining new blue roadster, the birthday gift of her father. Yeah, Carson has money. So
yeah.
Quickly backing the automobile to the street, she set off for the shopping district. She drove swiftly down the boulevard, and upon reaching a more congested street, wormed her way skillfully through heavy traffic. So she's also very good at Mario Kart.
Yes.
Entering a department store, she made a number of small purchases on the main floor and then went directly to the wearing apparel section, as it was her intention to purchase a frock suitable for the afternoon party to which she had been invited. Usually, Nancy found the service excellent, but this morning was an especially busy one, and an extra rush of customers had temporarily overwhelmed the sales force. I'll go ahead and pass that along to you.
She did not mind waiting her turn, but quietly sat down in a convenient chair and glanced about with interest. After a time, her attention was attracted toward 2 girls who, like herself, were waiting for an available saleswoman, but less patiently. Instantly, Nancy recognized them as Ada and Isabel Topham. Oh, shit!
Here they are.
They were remonstrating with the floor manager, and their voices carried so far that she could not help but hearing what they said. We've been standing here nearly 10 minutes, Ada said petulantly. Send a saleswoman to us immediately.
They're Valley girls, even though they're in Illinois.
Yes,
it's great. I love it.
I'm afraid I can't, the floor manager said regretfully. There are a number of others ahead of you. An extra rest of customers. Perhaps you don't know who we are, Ada interrupted rudely. Indeed, I do, the floor manager told her with a trace of weariness. I will have a saleswoman here in a few minutes. If you will only wait. We're not accustomed to waiting, Isabel Topham told them nicely. Oh, I'm okay. Such service, Ada chimed in. Do you realize that my father owns stock in this store?
Fucking stockbroker asshole.
Shouldn't he be like,
Shouldn't he be destitute?
I know.
No, he somehow gambled on the stock market and won. I don't know.
He fought the stock and the... If we report your conduct to him, he could have you discharged. I'm sorry, the harassed floor manager apologized, but it is the rule of the store. You must await your turn. Ada tossed her head and her dark eyes flashed angrily. In spite of the expensive clothes she wore, she was anything but attractive. She was an ugly bitch.
Oh no. How are we going to objectify?
Oh, for she was tall and slender to the point of being termed skinny. Damn.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
She's Aunt Spiker.
Oh my God. Now that her face was distorted with anger, she was positively ugly.
Ooh.
Isabel, who was the pride of the Topham family, was rather pretty in a vapid sort of way, but Nancy Drew thought that her face lacked character. She had acquired an artificial manner.
Boy, did you read into that? Boy, did you read into that, huh?
Of speaking, which was both irritating and amusing. It was her mother's ambition that someday she would marry into a wealthy family, and every opportunity was given her for a brilliant match.
I can only picture her marrying Keanu Reeves now, though.
I love the fact how Nancy is totally a 16-year-old girl, because the stuff that means... Hold on.
Well, we always talked about Nancy having good sass, even in the games.
But so wait, hold on. The two sisters were older than Nancy, but had been in her class at school. Wait. She found them stupid as well as arrogant. Damn, Nancy. Tell us how you really feel.
That's so choice.
They had never been popular with their classmates and had boasted few friends.
They only need each other.
Yeah. Now, as they turned from the floor manager and saw her for the first time, Nancy bowed.
Why?
Why? I guess... Why was bowing a thing in the 1930s? Sorry, I wasn't alive then, so...
I guess not.
I'll throw it to you.
Isabel coldly returned the bow, but did not speak a word of greeting. Ada gave no indication that she had even noticed her. Snobs, Nancy told herself. The next time I won't bother to speak to them.
You didn't speak to them. You just bowed.
Yeah, exactly.
But whatever.
At that moment, a saleswoman hurried toward the Topham girls, and at once they began to shower abuse upon her for her failure to wait upon them sooner.
What Karens?
Seriously. The Karen sisters.
The lovely Karen sisters. I want to speak to your manager.
The Nancy Drusical. There it is.
I should go with an Annie reference. Sure.
Nanny. Nancy watched them curiously as they examined the gowns which the saleswoman brought out for their approval. Evidently, Isabel and Ada were in an unpleasant frame of mind. No shit. For they tossed aside beautiful creations of lace and chiffon with scarcely a second glance. They found fault with everything. A very chic gown, the saleswoman told them hopefully, as she displayed an attractive dress. It is a Paris model and arrived this morning. Ada picked it up, gave it one careless glance, and then tossed it into a chair.
But it's from Paris. How dare... I feel like anytime you say the words Paris...
It's from Paris. It's the chic, the chic of the chic. The gown slipped to the floor in a crumpled mess, and to the horror of the saleswoman, Ada stepped on it as she turned to examine another dress.
Dude, that's not... You didn't pay for that.
Yeah, these people are awful.
Fuck these bitches.
In disgust, Nancy moved away and began to examine a rack of dresses in another part of the room. Like she's like, I can't watch this faux pas continue. Presently, as she wandered back, she saw that Ada and Isabel were leaving without having made a purchase. As they swept past, Ada brushed against her. Instead of apologizing, she wheeled and surveyed Nancy coldly. Do watch where you're going, she said tartly.
Oh, fuck this bitch.
Seriously. Nancy stifled a sharp retort and made no reply. Not without amusement, she watched the Topham sisters as they flounced to the elevator. I don't wonder that people say such mean things about them, Nancy told herself.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Okay, Nancy is a sassy bitch in the 1930s.
I'm loving sassy Nancy.
I am loving this too. I was expecting her to be more gee whiz golly gosh, but holy
No, she's savage.
She's savage. Damn.
She seems like she's only savage to people who deserve it.
But
So
honestly, they do. Fuck these bitches.
Yeah, seriously. They stepped on a dress from Paris. That's awful.
From Paris. Oh my god. I never understand. Maybe okay, but I'm not like. I'm not in the fashion game, so I don't really know fashion. But why is the idea like, oh, but it's from Paris? Clearly, it's something amazing.
Danger by Design was set in Paris for a reason.
Yeah, I know.
I think,
but I don't know. Okay, maybe like fashion designers, people who are interested in fashion. Why is Paris considered like the top of the top for fashion?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could look historically into it, but just in the short version, what made Paris the creme de la creme, to use a term like that? Mm-hmm. Her thoughts were cut short as a saleswoman offered her services. It was the same girl who had waited upon the Topham sisters. Nancy quickly selected a party frock and a blue crepe, which matched her eyes, and went to the fitting room to try it on. It's a real pleasure to serve you, Miss Drew, the saleswoman assured her when they were alone. But how I dread to see the Topham sisters come into the store. They are so unreasonable. Ada and Isabel aren't very popular, Nancy agreed. They seem to think their word is law.
Nancy, sassy, gossipy bitch.
We love her, the saleswoman sighed. And I'm afraid it will be for if they get all of Josiah Crowley's money. She lowered her voice.
Oh, shit.
The estate hasn't been settled, but they're counting on the fortune already.
How does the saleswoman know this?
They have nothing better to do in town but keep tabs on what the fucking rich blue bloods are up to.
Okay, yeah.
I heard Miss Ada say to her sister, "Oh, I guess we'll get all of old Crowley's fortune as soon as the lawyers stop squabbling. But it's my opinion the Tophams are mightily worried for fear somebody will show up with a later will, which may do them out of the most of it." So it's not just Nancy's intuition. People are like, there's another will. There's no doubt in my mind there's another will.
There's no way.
Old Crowley wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, Crowley was queer and gay as fuck, but he would have never.
He was happy and gay.
Oh.
Nancy was far too wise to engage in gossip with the saleswoman.
What are you doing? That is not true.
No,
that
come
is
on.
So not
Seriously.
true. Far too wise to engage in gossip. She's doing it right now.
She's not responding. Let's see how it goes. I'm curious. For she could not tell how far anything she might say would be carried, but she was interested in the information. The fact that Tophams were worried indicated to her they were of the opinion that Josiah Crowley had made a second will. Evidently, they were somewhat disturbed by the claims of the other relatives. Ordering the frock which she had purchased sent to her home, Nancy glanced at her watch and saw it was already 12 o'clock.
I don't care if Ada and Isabel don't think I believe they're that popular and they're snobby bitches, but when it comes to this,
she held off.
Yeah.
Nancy showed restraint from her more gossipy ways. I must hurry. I'll be late in meeting father, she thought, and left the store. She drove directly to her father's office, and although a few minutes ahead of her appointed time, found that he was ready to leave. What luck, father? Nancy demanded eagerly when they were alone in the inner office. Did Mr. Rolstead promise to take luncheon with you? Yes, we are to meet him at the Royal Hotel in 10 minutes. Do you still think I should quiz him about the Crowley will? Oh, I'm more than ever interested in the case, father. I can't tell you why, but I just seem to know that Josiah Crowley made a second will. Well, your intuitions are frequently correct, Nancy, Mr. Drew smiled. So I'll do my best to find out what Mr. Rolstead knows about the case. However, I must warn you not to appear too eager for information, or he may suspect we have a dark motive behind the luncheon invitation. I'll be careful, Nancy laughed.
Oh, that's not that's for what they were doing good, but I never liked when it's like they wrote something and it says they laughed, because you don't laugh afraid.
I'll be careful. Nancy laughed. Tag, you're it.
The Royal Hotel was located less than a block away, and Nancy and her father quickly walked the distance. As they entered the lobby, they found Mr. Rolstead there ahead of them. Carson Drew introduced his daughter, and the three made their way to the dining room where a table had been reserved for them. At first, the conversation centered on about a variety of subjects. As the luncheon progressed, the two lawyers began to talk enthusiastically of their college days together, and finally of their professions. Nancy began to fear that the subject of the Crowley estate never would be brought up.
Oh no, they're talking about old man stuff.
They're probably
talking about like polo and shit. Said Nancy. Nancy's eyes glazed over as she sank into catatonia hearing these two rich old white guys talk about some...
I don't want to hear about your college days. I don't want to hear about your drunken antics.
I don't want to hear about all the crab ass that was going on. And you thought Josiah Crowley was queer. No.
Then over the coffee cups, Carson Drew skillfully swung the conversation into a new channel and began to discuss strange cases which had fallen into his hands. By the way...
Speaking of grab ass...
I haven't heard the detail. That doesn't feel skillfully, but...
Well, it did when we were talking about it, because I like the idea that everybody... The only thing they could bring up about Josiah Crowley is that he was friendly but kind of queer.
Speaking of queer...
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't heard the details of the Crowley. Yeah, we were such we used to grab ass all the time. We did some gay ass shit back in college. Speaking of which, I haven't heard the details of the Crowley case.
That explains why when they greeted each other, they did like a secret handshake that ended with them both slapping each other on the ass.
They did the bro hug, and then instead of patting on the back, they pat each other on the ass. How are the Tophams making out? I understand the relatives are trying to break the will. For a moment, Mr. Rolstead remained silent, and Nancy began to think he did not intend to enter a discussion of that case. But as we know, in this small town of River Heights, everybody is a gossipy bitch. The case wasn't turned over to me, Carson, the lawyer said quietly.
Oops, and then they left.
But I confess I followed it rather closely because of a special interest I happen to have in Crowley. Gay! As the present will stands, I do believe it can be broken. Then the Tophams will get the entire estate, Mr. Drew commented. Yes, unless another will is uncovered. Another will? Carson Drew inquired instantly. Then you believe Crowley made a second one? Mr. Rolstead hesitated, as though uncertain whether or not he should divulge additional information, and then with a quick glance about, lowered his voice. Again, everyone in this town is a gossipy bitch.
I love the idea that he does that, but then Nancy's like just leaning in like this, right up to him.
You know, on a podcast where nobody can see anything, they can't witness.
They can imply because as I moved toward you, my mouth moved just slightly closer to the microphone. Anyway.
Yeah. Of course, I wouldn't want this to get out, he began doubtfully. Oh, you may trust Nancy not to repeat, Mr. Drew observed, guessing what was in the lawyer's mind. I found out that by experience, and Carson Drew smiled upon his daughter. Then I will say this much. It would not surprise me if another will should come to light. The Tophams treat Crowley almost unkindly after he made his will in their favor. About a year ago, Crowley came to my office and told me that he wanted to draw up a new will. He indicated that he intended to cut the Tophams off without a cent. Fuck yeah. He expressed a desire to write the will himself and asked me a number of questions. I told him exactly how to proceed. When he left my office, he promised that he will have me look over the document when he had drawn it up. Then you actually saw the will? Mr. Drew asked in surprise. No, strange to say, Crowley never came back. I don't know whether he drew up the will or not. Okay, I'll let you take over.
And if he did, there would be an excellent chance that it would not be legal, I suppose. Yes, it's a real trick to draw up a will that cannot be broken, but Josiah Crowley was a very careful man. Still, if he left even a loophole, the Tophams would drag the matter into court. Yes, it is a foregone conclusion that the Tophams will keep the fortune whether they have the right to it or not. They have the advantage of money, you know. I believe the other relatives have filed a claim, but they have no proof a second will exists, and without money, they cannot hope to fight the Tophams. While her father and Mr. Rolstead discussed the case, Nancy Drew remained silent, but not a word of what was said escaped her. Although she gave no indication of her feelings, the information excited her. After a time, Mr. Drew paid the luncheon check, and the three arose and left the dining room. Mr. Rolstead took leave of them in the lobby. Well, Nancy, did you find out what you wanted to know? Carson Drew inquired after the lawyer had disappeared. Oh, Father, it's just as I suspected. Mr. Crowley did make a second will.
Nancy is so hard-pressed to believe there's a second will.
Oh, for sure. You mustn't jump hastily at conclusions, Mr. Drew warned her. It's possible that Crowley never drew up the will at all, or if he did, he may have destroyed it. That's possible, of course, but he had no love for the Tophams, and I have a feeling he hid the will somewhere. Oh, if only I could find it.
Well, good news is if this is like anything like the game, she's just got to solve a bunch of puzzles that Crowley has made up in his house. And then once she solves all of them, she will find the will. And then one of the Tophams will come see her and be like, I believe you'll be handing that to me now. And will be like threatening her with a knife or a gun or something.
Or a knife gun.
Or a knife gun. A knife gun.
It's a gun that shoots knives. Or a knife that shoots guns. A knife that stabs you with a gun. I don't know.
And now I'm trying to picture this.
It's a gun with a bayonet knife on the front of it.
I've heard those are not as useful as you'd think.
Well, it's one of the Tophams is using it, and they're all dumb.
That's true.
They're all stupid, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Except they're not, apparently. I don't know. Anyway.
Nancy found Ida and Ava to be stupid.
That's my
Damn.
favorite part, guys. That's very good.
It would be as easy as looking for a needle in a haystack, Mr. Drew replied. If I were you, I would forget about the case, Nancy. This is Nancy Drew we're talking about.
Carson, do you even know your daughter?
Yeah.
Come on now.
I can't forget about it until I've at least made an attempt to find out what became of that will, Nancy insisted stubbornly. All right, dig into the mystery if you like, but I'm afraid you'd set yourself an impossible task. I don't see how you hope to discover what became of the will when you haven't even a clue. I'll find a way, Nancy laughed. Again, I hate that. Give me time and I'll surprise you. But after she said goodbye to her father and was slowly driving toward home, doubt assailed her. Nancy Drew? Doubting?
Oh no. Doubting Drew.
She knew that the odds were against her. Although she was determined to find out what had become of the Crowley will, she was at a loss to know how to begin. As her father reminded her, she did not have a single clue. When there's a will, there's a way, she quoted whimsically. That old proverb is no doubt is doubly true in the Crowley case. If there actually is a second will, I'm going to find it. And if I do, I hope it won't prove to be the Topham's favor.
Dun, dun, dun. So Nancy's got some plans.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy's going to do it. Nancy's going to get things done. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I think there's a lot of chapters of this, but I think that's a good place to cap off for now.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, it's getting kind of late here. We started a lot. We talked a lot in the
discharge?
Yes. Jesus.
If you want to hear that, we talk about a little bit about the Nancy Drew games.
Yeah, we go more into depth about our least favorites. I guess
Yeah, we start from the bottom of our list and make our way up in our terms of our preference for them. So if you want to hear that, the start of that, which is probably going to be a series, just like this is going to be a series, because I'm interested. My first impression
I'm kind of shocked how, now don't get me wrong, it still sounds like something that's written for like, I don't want to say young girls necessarily, because this is surprisingly well written, but it's simplistic.
It's definitely of its era.
Yes.
And, but I find that kind of charming.
And I appreciate, although, yeah, she's seen as like the better compared to the two other girls, she's not perfect. There's still, I mean, for the most part, there's still like moments where they're like, well, she's popular and pretty and all that.
They're really trying to emphasize that she's a really positive role model here.
Yeah, and I get that, but there's moments where I'm like, when I say gossipy bitch, I'm like, yeah, she is very like stubborn and very like, oh, I am so certain. Nancy, don't jump into conclusions.
Nancy
I'm gonna jump to conclusions.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna jump to conclusions. These are the conclusions I'm jumping to. Watch me, Dad. Don't tell me what to do, Dad.
And then actually has no problem saying, like, she found them stupid.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, so honestly, I think I'm interested to see where this goes. And I get the feeling that this is going to be a recurring thing for a while. If you like what we're doing here, please let us know, because I personally am interested to keep going.
I'm kind of curious I'm now curious what's up with the will, with the Tophams and Mr. Crowley, and I am curious to see where this goes, and also to learn more about Nancy's life in 1930.
Yeah, it's a weird little snapshot. I think our takeaways from this are definitely that Nancy Drew has always been a character with good sass.
Yes, she definitely has sass here.
She's Sassy Drew.
This is a much more dialogue heavy than I expected as well.
Yeah, it is. I will say nothing of real major substance has happened yet. It's just kind of confirming what Nancy's intuition is telling her from the get-go. But she's not blindly going into it. She's just kind of so far the narrative is proving her intuition correct. Is it a little trite? I mean, maybe, but again, product of its time. This is still like the beginning of a thing. I'm willing to be a little more forgiving of it, but it is kind of silly, but I don't think it's bad.
It is meant for kids.
Yeah.
This is still meant for kids. And we are supposed to see Nancy as a bit of as our heroine and also as someone to look up to. And yes, it is. But I don't hate this. It also is a unique window into the 1930s.
For sure.
It is a bit of a unique window into 1930s. So, because one of the interesting things is, I don't know if you know this, but back then, when women did go shopping, they actually did have to wait. Like
that makes sense.
As someone would approach them, it's like, what are you looking for? And they would do measurements and all that.
Okay.
So it wasn't just like now where we would just go in and be like, well, I guess this looks like it fits me. Mm-hmm. They actually did have salespeople that would go up and
that tracks actually. That sounds like and it's interesting that she has enough money to have I also learned, despite having enough money to like go shopping on the reg, take parties with friends, and afford a brand new blue roadster that she's driving at 16. I appreciate Nancy's bid to take down a actually shitty rich family.
Yep.
So we'll see how this goes.
Is Nancy Drew like Dr. Satan using her wealth to bring down the?
Oh, I wonder if they get along.
Oh my god.
It's only a few years.
God.
Wait, was Carson Drew Dr. Satan on? Nancy!
No, my god.
Nancy!
It's
me, your father, Carson.
This just changed the story completely. Oh my god.
I need you to help to keep an eye on things, Nancy, while I go see my new friends Gus and Bostiff.
Nancy, manage the house while I go do things. What things, father? Why is Nancy a British girl?
Well, same reason why the Tophams are Valley Girls in Illinois.
I mean, I think I kind of clocked that when they...
You absolutely clocked that.
I'm now under the impression that Carson Drew is actually Dr. Satan.
You know what? Headcanon accepted. This is the origin of Dr. Satan. A possible origin of Dr. Satan.
And this is what Carson Drew does. He doesn't actually...
When he's not claiming to be a criminal lawyer, he's dressing up and he's going out and fighting his arch rival Ascot Keen. Yeah. There we go. Boom. Tied it all together.
Holy shit.
Well, take us to the end credits, Dr. Satan, since we're talking about you.
Greetings, fools. It is I, Dr. Satan, and this podcast is part of CreativeHorror.com, a network of podcasts and creators working together to build a constructive community of horror fans. For more content like this, visit us at CreativeHorror.com.